Hi, I'm Kyle.
And I'm Trevor, and welcome to Catching Up on Cinema. In this installment, we'll be doing our monthly Catching Up on Blu-Ray. If you're not familiar, Catching Up on Blu-Ray is a special segment in which Kyle and I review the upcoming Blu-ray releases for the coming month, in this case, January 2019. So without further ado, I guess let's just get to it, beginning with... funny enough, I guess January 1st falls on a Tuesday, so we get a number of releases on January 1st, 2019. So, Kyle, what's the first release that jumps out at you?
Well, Trevor, let me ask you a question before we get going on this. Did you know that Chris Hemsworth, who played Thor, is a handsome man? And if he pops that shirt off, it's pretty good. I swear to God, they're marketing this movie on that, because he's on the front fucking cover. Bad Times at the El Royale.
Yeah, it's kind of proven that your ticket sales will go up by a vast margin if the trailer or the promotional materials for your film include a shirtless Chris Hemsworth.
Jeez.
They certainly did that with at least the first two Thor movies. I don't think they bothered with the third one. But they at least had him wearing something sleeveless,
I actually read when that movie first came out, that first Thor movie, that he when they cast him, like, he didn't work out. Like, I think he was just a country bumpkin from Australia. Like, he didn't work out. He just was being a man out there, basically.
I mean, I wouldn't doubt it. It's funny, actually. I watched some of the behind the scenes materials. Unfortunately, those Marvel Disney movies are always kind of shitty when it comes to behind the scenes, making of supplements, but one of the supplements they had was a screen test, I think, for him and Tom Hiddleston.
Oh, okay.
And Tom Hiddleston actually auditioned for Thor, and he did not look bad. He definitely was not the Thor that we all know and love now.
Yeah, but
it was kind of interesting seeing a more lithe Thor as opposed to Giganto Thor, because I think it's funny with these super high profile roles, for instance Daniel Craig playing James Bond.
Yeah.
In Casino Royale he was jacked. He got big, he got huge.
Well, remember Bale from that first...
As the series goes along, though, he starts to deflate, and it almost is a visual indicator of his level of investment in the role or something.
Well, you remember Bale in that first Batman movie? He was... I think his best Bale body has been in American Psycho, because he is cut, chiseled, jacked in that. And then I think he did The Machinist sometime after that, and then he did The Dark Knight, where he beefed up again. He was jacked in that first movie. Huge. And then he just kind of... It just declines for the other two movies.
Well, I mean, he wasn't, lazing about. He was still very much in shape. But yeah, for that first Batman movie, I think Christopher Nolan actually commented and said he felt that he got too big for it.
Really?
Which is kind of shocking, considering it came right after The Machinist.
Yeah, he's...
it was funny seeing Chris Hemsworth walk the same path with Thor, because in that first movie he's his shape is ridiculous. But now he's still super jacked and everything, but he's not as puffy, I guess, as he was in that first one.
Christian Bale is underrated. We always say Hugh Jackman is the epitome of buffness. He's there, he's got it. And I'm Bale has it, but he keeps getting fat for roles, and he's gonna fuck up his body. Did he get fat for Cheney?
Oh yeah, of course.
Oh god, dude, he's gonna die.
I think American Hustle also.
No, he definitely got fat for that.
Yeah, I didn't actually like that movie very much.
I didn't. It did. So okay. So this is not going to be a good movie. I haven't seen it, but much like American Hustle, I could see who's in it and I could get the vibe. I'm not going to like it, and I know I'm not going to like that movie.
Oh, are you talking about Vice?
No, I actually think Vice might be good.
No, I've heard nothing but great things about it. Are you talking about Bad Times at El Royale?
Yeah, I'm just like Bad Times at El Royale. American Hustle. I looked at the cast. Is it Dakota Johnson on there as well?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, no, she's...
I think John Hamm's in there too.
Yeah.
And, but it's funny, actually, because I heard, this movie is pretty good.
Doubt it.
I'm kind of shocked. I forget who directed it. In fact, I should probably just take a look real quick.
Take a peep.
But I think both you and I commented on its resemblance to Smoking Aces.
Yeah.
Like, at least in the way it was marketed, where it's like kind of like a too cool for school kind of vibe to it.
Yeah.
And it's like, hey, we got a whole busload of quirky characters, and they all got guns. It's like, this feels like it's straight out of 1998.
Yeah.
By the way, Drew Goddard, who I know mostly as a writer.
I don't know.
So that's kind of interesting. So what else we got here? We got Night School.
Yeah, I'm fine.
Kevin Hart vehicle. Holy shit! They put it out on 4K.
I do think that what's her name? Tiffany Haddish, is that her name? She's really funny. I watched a movie with her, like a girls' night kind of thing, or girls' trip, something like that.
Oh yeah, I think I know her.
She was very funny on there. Steph wanted to watch it, and I watched it with her, and it was pretty funny. But she was very funny on there. Best part.
Well, I mean, like I remember the trailers for this movie. A lot of scenes of her smacking him around.
Yeah,
it seemed like a good time.
He's in a little hot water right now, so
we don't like to get into that.
No, nothing really popping out from the rest. Bluefin, but I don't know if that's a documentary or a cry movie. Like, I'm not really sure what that's supposed to be.
It's only 54 minutes long. Bluefin is a tale of epic stakes set in the tuna capital of the world, North Lake, Prince Edward Island in Canada. The film explores the baffling mystery of why the normally wary bluefin tuna no longer fear humans. So this, I believe this is a documentary.
Okay, interesting.
Could be very interesting.
I'm fine.
Could be. Now. Probably won't bother with it, but holy shit, Red versus Blue is still a thing.
I don't even know what that is.
My God. Red versus Blue was a web series, and the way they did the animation was they used in-game footage from the first Halo game, and just used the analog sticks to tilt the characters' heads to simulate like a head bobble, and then recorded audio, like recorded voice acting over it. And they just made skits, and then it blew up into this like storyline, and it's been going on since the first Halo game.
Wow.
Yeah. What the fuck? Moving right along, The Civil War by Ken Burns. I think it says 25th anniversary edition.
Oh, okay.
I'm pretty sure I watched that when I was a kid. Ken Burns stuff is always great. It's like a warm blanket,
Yeah.
Just that format is very comfortable.
Nice.
Shin Tetsujin 28. Holy shit. So Tetsujin 28 was a Gigantor in the States. It was an anime from before both of our times. I think it was from the 60s. It was black and white. I think my mom knew about it. But, mostly I just know it because my brother, when we were kids, he had a CD. It was called Saturday Morning Cartoons. And it was a bunch of contemporary 90s bands doing covers of like Hanna-Barbera opening theme songs for cartoons and stuff. So like Johnny Quest and Hong Kong Phooey.
I did not like Johnny Quest.
I like the 90s one. I saw some of the 60s version, and yeah, it did not work for me. But the 90s one was pretty cool. But yeah, Gigantor is like classic anime that it's... In Japan, they bring it back like every couple decades, and sure enough, this is from 1980. So that must have been the second iteration of the character. Moving on down. Wow, there's a lot of images not filled in here. I wonder if that's maybe a problem with the website.
Yeah, because you're
re-release of Beowulf, the Robert Zemeckis movie, probably trying to cash in on that Welcome to Marwen movie that I think just came out.
Yeah, it's apparently not very good.
Yeah, I had high hopes for it, but yeah, general consensus seems to be it's misguided in how it approaches some of the themes of the story.
I don't really do Steve Carell movies that much. Pretty much anything that he did during or post Office, and it was a comedy, it's probably worth your time. But other than that, not really.
I mean, The Big Short was an ensemble, but how was he in it?
I did not watch that because it looked boring as sin. That's just me. I've heard it's pretty good, and I believe it, but it'll be like another 5 years before I end up watching it.
Well, it's the same folks that made Vice. Just throwing that out there. I haven't seen it myself, but my brother liked it.
Vice, the docu-series?
No, the Dick Cheney movie.
Oh, okay.
Trouble. What is Angelica Houston, Bill Pullman, David Morse, and Julia Stiles?
I was actually just asking.
What?
I was looking. My girlfriend was watching Julie and Julia yesterday, which I kind of want to watch now because I saw like the back like 60% of it, I'd say, and it looked pretty good. Like it was enjoyable, and I was looking it up on IMDb, and Julia Stiles came up, and I had to double check with my brother who can't stand her. And I was like, "Hey, do you still hate Julia Stiles?" He's like, "Still to this day." I'm like, "Wow." All right.
Just checking.
He's not a fan.
Have a happy New Year, bro. Click. I've always been kind of lukewarm about her, but I think just because of the time period in which I grew up, like just seeing her is again like that warm blanket kind of feeling, where it's like, oh, I know her. I know what to expect from her. She's not much, but I know what to expect.
There was that movie, A Guy Thing. I don't know if you ever saw it. Jason Lee.
No.
Oh my gosh, Selma Blair, and she's in it as well. It's pretty funny. It was funny at the time. Probably doesn't hold up now, but James Brolin's in it too. It's funny.
I mean, that's a decent cast.
Yeah.
But yeah, this Trouble movie, just the cast, it jumped out at me. It's like, these are all people I generally like, especially David Morse.
Who the hell's David Morse? Why do I know that name?
Well, is that Hack? Yeah, that's Hack.
Oh, okay, yes, David Morse. All right.
It's the dad from The Good Son.
Wait, does it say 1953 to Dash? like a
Dash meaning I'm not dead yet.
Yeah, like an epitaph that he's already got his gravestone picked out.
No, I've always liked him. He's a good supporting man. Like I can't think of many things he's led, but he's always welcome. This Trouble movie looks like modern western or something. He's
the main villain in Disturbia, which I thought was pretty good at the time. We got the PBS section, as I like to call it, or PBS/BBC. Is that Mel Gibson in the Bounty? That's not Mel Gibson.
Yeah,
that is
Anthony Hopkins and Mel Gibson.
I've never even heard of that.
I'm guessing this is an adaptation of Mutiny on the Bounty. I've been meaning to watch it for a long time now, but because it's been on like Amazon for a long time, but I just haven't pulled the trigger on it.
I've seen a scene from there.
Lieutenant Bligh, whose cruelty leads to a mutiny on his ship. This version follows both the efforts of Fletcher Christian to get his men beyond the reach of British retribution, and the epic voyage of Lieutenant Bligh to get his loyalists safely to East Timor in a tiny lifeboat.
I think I've seen a scene of that where he's walking up to that girl with the flowers on her head, and I don't think she has a shirt on.
Is that Daniel Day-Lewis?
That's Daniel Day-Lewis. That's DDL.
That is baby Daniel Day-Lewis. This is automatically a good film.
Pretty much. I'm gonna have to watch that.
And hey, it's your boy Gary Oldman.
Yeah, right.
The Scarlet Letter. Tell Them Willie Boys here. Apparently a Robert Redford film.
Damn fun.
January 2nd is the time period we're looking at right now, and it looks like these are a bunch of re-releases of classic films. These look like some pretty heavy hitter films.
Yeah, right.
For a particular crowd. Like we have a Brando release here, the Appaloosa, but we don't talk about him.
We don't.
John Saxon. Fuck yes. Sign me up. Release dates that aren't on a Tuesday are generally like off release dates, so it's reserved for either concert videos or like you said, the PBS section.
PBS section.
So The Bounty, Scarlet Letter, Tell Them Willie Boys here, Washington Square, Silent Scream, and the Appaloosa. Moving on down, we have some more PBS releases. January 4th, the Vienna Johann Strauss Orchestra.
Yeah.
Okay, it's a concert video, I guess. Hey!
Yeah, exactly.
Timely.
Exactly.
Timely release.
Very
Holy
much.
Shit. So now we're on to January 8th, and do you want to start us off, Kyle?
Yeah, so on January 8th, it looks like 8mm starring Nicolas Cage is going to be released. We are actually going to be doing an episode on this shortly.
Yes, we are.
We won't say for what, but we will be doing this Nicolas Cage movie. And I remember, like we've discussed and why we're doing an episode on it, I remember liking it. It's post-7, like it's shortly after 7, and it definitely has kind of that really dark 90s vibe to it, kind of gross feeling. You kind of need a shower when you're done with it. You're like, I don't feel so good about myself after watching that. But yeah, I'm looking forward to doing that one.
Yeah, it should be a good time. Any excuse to look at the works of Joel Schumacher is a time well spent, if you ask me.
I still want to do an episode on St. Elmo's Fire. It's
oh, we have to.
I feel like
we have to. I'll have to think about my favorite bad movie. I haven't figured it out yet, but I mean, you've been saying for a while that that's yours, right?
It is. It is my favorite bad movie.
Okay.
And if you think it's good, give it a rewatch. My goodness. When Harry met... the other one that pops out is When Harry Met Sally, which I just watched within the last year and a half, I'd say. The last year and a half, 2 years. Which I enjoyed. I liked all the on-location shots in New York. It was nice.
I haven't seen it, but it's often cited as like one of the best quote-unquote romantic comedies.
I like Billy Crystal.
I do too. Like, not everybody does.
No.
But, and I like Meg Ryan.
Yeah.
But I especially like that particular era of Billy Crystal. In fact, I threw one of his movies up on the future episodes list. Throw Mama from the Train.
I just watched that not too long ago. Maybe I just wasn't in the mood for it. It was a little weird.
Well, let me run this by you. Like, has your dad ever like made you watch a movie? Like, been like adamant that Kyle, son, you need to watch this movie?
I think The Thing was the one that he made us watch. So I'm like, I don't know about this, Dad. This is an old horror movie. He's like, trust me, you guys need to watch this. We're gonna watch it together. And
okay.
Yeah, that was one of them.
Okay, because like for me, growing up, like my dad like had a handful of movies that he absolutely like required me to watch, and it was like a 50-50 chance that it would be complete garbage. But I put some of those up on the future episodes list just because it's like movies your dad made you watch.
Now my mom,
I probably wouldn't have bothered with this if not for the person who gave me life required that I watch it at some point.
I definitely had my mom. She made me watch some 80s movies like 16 Candles, Vision Quest. She had a few others, but yeah, she was the one that's like, you need to watch this. Nothing to Lose.
Okay, well, maybe we can open it up to movies our parents made us watch.
Yeah, we could do that.
Because Vision Quest I'd very much like to see.
Catching Up on Shit Our Parents Watch.
Yeah! Tentative title for now.
Right.
Working title.
Working title.
Moving right along, we got Castle Rock. I think this was Stephen King TV series.
Oh, that sounds not
I think
great.
that my friend, she's really into like shitty television. If I remember right, she told me this is like the equivalent of like the Marvel universe, but for Stephen King. So it's like they take elements from all of his stories and like put it into one setting.
Interesting.
Yeah, she said it's really dopey, but she enjoys it. But she likes crap. She has a taste for crap. This mid-90s movie, written and directed by Jonah Hill.
Couldn't care less.
I've heard good things. Not as many good things as I have about that 13 movie. Eighth grade.
Oh, okay, I was going to say 13, really?
Yeah. No, wasn't that Dominique Swain movie or whatever?
No, close. It's Evan Rachel Wood.
There you go. Someone with ultra clear complexion.
Yes, and Holly Hunter, which I've seen that movie a few times. Yeah, it's fine. It's worth a one watch, I'd say. It's just teenage angst.
Yeah, it looked good.
Yeah.
Young people dramas.
Yeah.
Not as interested in them as I used to be.
No.
Being as I'm no longer a young person.
Who was he targeting, like, us? Like, people who grew up in the 90s, I guess? Like, that were kids in the 90s? Because I did, and I couldn't. Honestly, I saw the preview, like, oh my god, Jonah Hill's directing a movie, and he wrote it. I'm like, okay, let me see the preview for it. I'm like, it looks boring as shit. It does not look good at all.
I actually know nothing about this film other than what it says on the cover.
Yeah.
It's apparently an elating debut.
Whatever.
Moving on down, The Karate Kid Part 3 and the next Karate Kid. Why the fuck would you buy this?
I haven't seen a minute of any of those movies.
Oh, I might make you watch them then.
Ugh.
Hey. The first one is a absolute classic. Absolute.
Okay.
Come on. Yeah, I mean, you gotta give me the first one at least.
What is this?
Second one's pretty good too. But three is batshit crazy, and I kind of love it for it. Next Karate Kid is you can have it, except for Michael Ironside. He's pretty great in it. But yeah, why would you buy this double feature?
I don't know.
Like the two shitty entries in the series. In fact, the remake is probably better than either one of these. the one with Jaden Smith that is inexplicably called The Karate Kid, even though it features no karate.
I was going to say, isn't it Chinese? It's Chinese Jackie Chan doing Japanese things?
No, they're doing kung fu.
Okay. What's this blind date?
The font looks very...
Reanimator.
It's funny, actually. I've seen, synthwave bands use this exact font and this exact coloration.
Mm-hmm.
It looks like a loose interpretation of what the 80s was, but not accurate. But it's funny, I thought this was Dennis Quaid.
I did too.
I really wanted this to be Dennis Quaid, but apparently it's someone named Joseph Bottoms.
Exactly.
And Kirstie Alley.
Oh.
And Marina Sirtis from Star Trek The Next Generation.
Both from Star Trek?
Yes, actually. Kirstie Alley was in, Wrath of Khan?
Yeah.
And Marina Sirtis was on the Next Gen show. And someone named Keir Dullea. Let's read the summary here, because I am curious. A man goes blind when remembering his lost girlfriend, but the doctors can't find anything wrong with his eyes. They fit him with an experimental device which allows him to see with the aid of a computer interface and brain electrodes. Meanwhile, a taxi driver is taking young women up to their apartments, giving them gas, and performing a little fatal amateur surgery on them. Their paths inevitably converge, and the blind man must try to stop the psychopath.
This sounds like a Black Mirror episode.
It sounds horribly disjointed. Like, how do these two paths converge?
I do not know.
The ultimate high-tech thriller, says the cover.
Doubt it.
Yeah, I seriously doubt it. Stay
doubt.
tuned. John Ritter. I kind of remember this movie, but I remember none of the details. But
I have no idea.
I know I saw it when I was a kid.
Eugene Levy. Oh, and Jeffrey Jones.
Yeah. Hi.
Jeffrey.
I wish he wasn't a horrible person.
He wasn't a pedophile,
because he was a fantastic actor.
But speaking of pedophiles, did Spacey do something? I feel like he posted a video or something.
I only heard about this. I don't give views to bad people.
Absolutely not.
Yeah, apparently he put out some.
If I had done it.
He put out a video called "Let Me Be Frank."
Oh my god!
Because I guess that was the name of his character on that Netflix show.
Oh Jesus!
And it's him like in character, like just doing stuff, like schmoozing or something. But just the title has that double meaning, where it's basically him like saying, "Hey, this is me being honest, but this is also me kind of like wanting my old job back for a role that was killed off."
Kev,
by the way, Peter Hyams, he and his son have a long history of working with Van Damme. I actually put up some of his movies on the future episode list. He was the fellow that directed Stay Tuned. Moving on, Nemesis. This is a long-running sci-fi series. I think it was directed by Albert Pyun. Let me double-check that. Yep, Albert Pyun, the man who's good at shooting but bad at editing. He directed the Van Damme movie Cyborg. He has and I think he did that Dollman movie as well. He has a knack for putting up like violence and action in his movies. Like he's really big on like sci-fi action movies and stuff. But he's kind of like the Jack Black of directors. Where it's like his passion and energy is admirable, but it doesn't always pan out. Like sometimes that's just not enough.
Speaking of JB, I watched that House with the Clocks in the Wall, the Clock in the Wall movie.
Oh yeah,
I liked it. It wasn't bad at all. Kate Blanchett, she is getting better looking with age. We were watching that.
She's quite fine. Has been for quite a while.
But Steph and I were watching it, and we were both kind of like, almost at the same time, like she's really good looking. Steph's like, I was about to say that she's really good looking for her, like, I mean, not for her age. I'm just saying, like, she's getting better looking as she gets older, I think. Seriously, like, she's just great. It's a fun little movie, and I still like Jack Black. I went through a phase where I didn't like Jack Black anymore, but I'm back on Black.
I'm telling you, man, you need to check out those variety show episodes in Korea where they have him on the show and they make him do like jackass kind of stunts.
He was on Hot Ones. I don't know if you've ever watched that, the show where the dude has them eat hot wings and answer questions. He and Kyle Gass were on there, and it was a nice little nice one. I like that one. What else? I don't know anything else on here.
Yeah, we have a bunch of re-releases of schlock. So these schlock meaning like cheapo B movies that probably don't need to be out on Blu-ray, but you know, the distribution rights to them are probably dirt cheap. So it's like, can't hurt. Yeah. So like for instance, we have Whatever Happened to Aunt Alice, more than likely a slasher movie. Street Law, a Franco Nero movie, probably made in Italy, being as it's a Franco Nero film.
Of course.
Willie Dynamite, I'm kind of curious. This is guessing a blaxploitation film from 1974.
Oh my goodness. The flashy and arrogant street pimp ruthlessly tries to apply capitalist principles to his own prostitution ring. Okay, I'm fine.
Yeah, I don't need to see that. That's an Arrow published film. Arrow tends to specialize in a certain brand of schlock. Let the Corpses Tan. That's kind of an interesting cover.
I know, right? It looks like a pirate movie, doesn't it?
Yeah, like there's a leather gloved hand like reaching up to a woman in silhouette. She's like heavily backlit, but the image is like covered in tears, where it looks like a dime store, not like a dime
Pulp Fiction.
Yeah, Pulp Fiction. Yeah, it looks like a pirate / like gangster movie or something. Yeah, probably, Kino. Kino's a kind of a big name when it comes to DVD and Blu-ray distribution. 24 frames. This is a Criterion.
I know.
Release.
I don't know.
So
what that
let's
is.
check it out. Iranian director Abbas Kiarostami gave himself a challenge to create a dialogue between his work as a filmmaker and his work as a photographer, bridging the two art forms to which he had dedicated his life.
Interesting.
So he digitally animated 24 of his still images to create a animation, I guess.
I would watch this, but I don't think I would buy it before I did.
Yeah, I don't know if I would get much mileage out of that. It would probably be very interesting, but
that's a one and done.
I don't know if I would revisit that.
Like Eraserhead. Like, I own Eraserhead, but Jesus, I don't know when I'm going to watch that again.
I can just like picture you like sitting with your lady like on the couch, like thinking about what to watch for the day, and just like your eyes flick to Eraserhead, and she's like, "No, Kyle."
I think you either
now is not the time, damn it.
I think you have to be mourning, like somebody has to have just died, or you have to go through like a devastating breakup to be able to watch Eraserhead. Maybe if you're about to have a child, you should watch Eraserhead, because that's that's the context in which it was.
Baby shower gift. There you go.
Here's Eraserhead. Get weird.
Here you go, lady.
What's this? The Spanish Prisoner? Is that who is that?
Dustin Hoffman, Steve Martin.
I'll pass.
Campbell Scott, and
is that Jesus?
I wanted to say that was Ethan Hawke, but
it looks like Jesus.
No, Felicity Huffman. David Mamet. We've visited David Mamet before.
Is this where Steve Martin's playing Sirius?
I would imagine, but again, David Mamet, so he's probably got some Spitfire dialogue there.
Or it's just like a serious movie, then all of a sudden King Tut starts.
Or it's just it's a serious movie, and then his character from Little Shop of Horrors rolls up on his bike and starts punching nurses and stuff.
Gosh.
Shooting puppies with a BB gun.
Nothing else is really popping out to me here.
Let's see here. The Captain.
That does not look like Happy Fun Time.
No, that does not. Hellfest. I can't remember if I heard this was good or not.
Probably not. It does not look good, and I would have heard if it was good. I have.
Kyle, what's your familiarity with The Purge?
I've seen the first one, and I actually really liked it. I like The Strangers better. It kind of has a not a similar vibe, but as far as like home invasion movies go, I think it's pretty decent. But I didn't see any. I'm like, it's not a sequel. It's not something I want to watch a sequel of. Like it was one and done for me. So I don't know anything about it. I think they're on like a third or fourth one by now, aren't they?
They're I think up to maybe 5 movies, and apparently this is the first season of a television series. The reason I bring it up is because I am very curious about the series, because everything I hear about it suggests that it's getting better.
Really?
Yeah, that it's actually continually improved.
Interesting.
And I'm like actually very curious. I think I might actually bite the bullet and start watching these movies, because especially since I like Frank Grillo, and apparently he's like a big part of the second and the third movies. But yeah, I've heard they continually get better.
Interesting.
Because the first one is generally regarded as like the weakest one because it had no money, and it's like a bottle drama because they had no money. Whereas the other ones expand on everything, and it just keeps spiraling outwards and getting bigger and bigger, and it's almost like watching a comic book universe get built on the fly.
Interesting.
But yeah, I think I might watch these movies, 'cause I'm kind of curious.
How's your the first one's definitely worth a watch. How's your Archer going?
Oh, I finished that first season you got me.
What'd you think?
It was good times, man. The writing is very tight.
It gets better. I was rewatching the third season, and I was laughing. And I had things I missed before. And I started watching the fourth one. We were just playing card games, hanging out last night, and I was laughing my ass off to that too. So you should keep going. So yeah, nothing really else in this row. Bent, is that what's his? I can never remember his name. I always know his
Clive Owen.
Clive Owen, yes.
Yeah,
it looks like Tom.
It looks like young Clive Owen, 1997.
Very young, yeah.
So this was and Mick Jagger.
Ugh.
Ian McKellen.
Ooh, I like Ian McKellen. I like Ian McKellen.
Yes, I like Max is
doesn't?
a handsome young man
And
who,
Jude Law.
after a fateful tryst with a German soldier, is forced to run for his life. Pursued and captured, Max is placed in a concentration camp, where he pretends to be Jewish because, in the eyes of the Nazis, gays are the lowest form of human being. But it takes a forbidden relationship with an openly gay prisoner to teach Max that without the love of another, life is not worth living. Heavy
Jesus,
shit.
you're throwing persecution of homosexuality and the Holocaust into a movie. Wow.
Wow.
That is heavy. When do you watch this movie?
That's a tough one, man. But 1997, I guess that explains why Clive Owen kind of exploded shortly after that. This was before, I think, even the Bourne movies, because he was in the first one in a very small role. And he was also in a computer game called, I think, Privateer 2. You might want to look that up, man, because the cast in it is ridiculous.
Yeah.
That computer game. Just the cutscenes from it, because it's like Clive Owen. I think John Hurt is in there. John fucking Hurt.
Yeah, right. All right. So, Asher, what is that all about?
I think this is another in the long line of Taken ripoffs, meaning old guys punching young people.
But if there's anybody I want to see punching people, because I just had Steph watch. We watched the first Blade a long time ago, like a year ago, and I didn't get to the second one, but it's on Netflix right now, so we got to watch the second one. And my God, is that movie still really good?
Yeah, I'd like to go back and rewatch it again, because I think I might like it better than the first one, to be honest.
I do. I actually do like it better than the first one. Well, it's Guillermo, and then you have
Yeah,
Ron
that makes a
Perlman.
big difference.
And it's got fucking Norman Reedus. I mean, fuck off.
Holy shit! Look at this cast, dude. Well, by the way, the tagline for Asher is "Some things get better with age."
Okay, so we have Mike Dexter, Richard Dreyfuss,
Jacqueline Bisset.
I don't know who that is.
Famke. It's got Famke.
It's got Famke. Dude, she's in the Taken movies.
I know.
Jeez.
Peter Fasinelli, man with one of the most punchable faces in Hollywood.
But I have a theory that he's actually a cool dude. He looks like he could be an absolute dick, but I fucking love Can't Hardly Wait. He's really great in that, but he's in all those Twilight movies.
Yeah, he is. He's the doctor.
He's the doctor dad.
Doctor dad, yeah.
Dad doctor. I'm gonna put it out there. I think he's probably a nice guy, and he missed out on the Fast and the Furious movies somehow. How is he not in those movies?
That's a good question, but maybe you should tweet him or something. Be like, "Hey, Peter, are you a good guy?" He'll just like reply, "No, no, I'm kind of a dick." I was like, "Damn, I had $10 writing on that."
Did you ever watch that show Fastlane with him? It was on Fox for like a season or two. It had what is her name? Saved by the Bell. Tiffany Amber Thiessen. Gosh.
Oh.
And had her and him, and it was not good, but that was what he was doing after Can't Hardly Wait.
Oh, no, I never bothered with that. Actually, there's a movie that he's in that I don't know if anybody's really covered on like a podcast or a video review series, to my knowledge anyway, but I feel like something needs to be said about it, so we might have to do it.
Cool.
It's called Supernova.
I've heard of it.
It's complete shit. But it's like he's the bad guy in it.
Ooh.
And James Spader in like the only role he ever like got in shape for. And he's supposed to be playing a badass? James Spader as like a badass space jockey.
He should be James Spader should be the one on House of Cards now. Not playing the same character, but like a whatever character Spacey was playing. Esque dickhead, like I think he could do that pretty well.
Well, they could do like they did in The Matrix and just be like, "Yeah, I got a lot of plastic surgery. I'm the same guy, but different looking."
Or like he gets shot in the face and then he had reconstructive surgery.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
Yeah,
have him do the mirror.
Office Space. If you haven't seen it, go ahead and buy it on Blu-ray because it's got a release.
20th anniversary. Holy shit!
Right.
By the way, this Where the Day Takes You, this cover really, really, really wants to be like the
Lost Boys.
Yeah, the modern Lost Boys or the Outsiders.
Yeah.
But look, Jesus, the way this cast is put together, it's like the 90s in bottled form. Sean Astin, Lara Flynn Boyle, I don't know Peter Dobson or Balthazar Getty.
I know that
Ricky
name.
Ricky Lake?
Ricky Lake, yes.
Dermot Mulroney and Will Smith.
That sounds
1991 to 1992 must have been a series or something.
weird.
I have no idea what that is.
No.
Queer Core: How to Punk a Revolution. A film by Yanni Leiser. Documentary on queercore, the cultural and social movement that began as an offshoot of punk from last year.
Nice. This is probably really good.
I haven't heard of it, but sounds interesting.
I'd give it a watch.
Yeah, absolutely.
Nothing.
All the creatures were stirring. Kyle,
Yo.
I'm gonna pull up something on the Googles.
Okay.
Bam! That's immediately what came to mind.
Wow, what is that? It's got a Criterion release.
But all the creatures were stirring. Proteus.
Proteus, yeah, isn't that?
All the creatures were stirring. Proteus.
It's the same thing.
No, that's not the Criterion.
I thought it was the Criterion. So I'm like, what?
My God, that is not the Criterion.
I was gonna say.
No.
It looked like it in passing. I'm like, Jesus. Okay, this is a big deal.
But yeah, just the cover art immediately brought that to mind because Proteus was something I used to walk by in like the the grocery store a lot.
Gotcha. Never heard of it.
I've never seen it. I just know the cover. Moving on down.
Nothing really.
This looks like something some hipsters would really be into.
Yeah, I can see that.
An Evening with Beverly Loughlin. Universal Studios.
Is that
Emile Hirsch, Craig Robinson, Jermaine Clement, and Aubrey Plaza?
You've got me on Jermaine Clement.
Yeah, of course. Lulu Danger's unsatisfying marriage takes a turn for the worse when a mysterious man from her past comes to town to perform an event called An Evening with Beverly Loughlin for one magical night only. This
looks terrible.
It's probably actually pretty good. It's just it's really leaning heavily into like that early 80s aesthetic.
Yeah.
It is just so ubiquitous right now that it's almost obnoxious. In fact, it's not almost. It kind of is now.
You know, I've never...
There is such a thing as too much of a good thing.
Yes.
Okay, January 15th.
Good stuff. Here we go.
We have a Criterion release.
Yes. Notorious.
From 1946. Let's see here. Alfred Hitchcock.
It's probably a good movie, if I had to guess.
Yeah, I don't have much more to say other than Cary Grant, Ingrid Bergman, Claude Rains.
Yep.
I know all those people from 1946. That
probably
means
supposed to
good.
watch it. Halloween 4K, I've heard that's pretty good. The newest Halloween movie. I haven't seen it yet. I'll probably watch it here before long.
Oh, you better. I mean, it seems like slasher movie franchises aren't really your big thing.
No.
But if I was to pick one that seemed to resonate more with you, I guess, like seemed to be more in line with your personal tastes, like Halloween seems like it would be the one.
Yeah, I like the first two movies, and I like those Rob Zombie remakes. I'm over it, I guess, at this point, so I have to get into the mood again. So it'll probably be this next Halloween is when I'll end up giving it a watch.
Yeah, I'm curious about this one. I've heard it's good, but I've also heard it's bad. It seems to be kind of divisive, but the marketing for it looked good. I could tell that there's a couple of long shots in there, probably just one actually, but that's something that I haven't seen too often in slasher movies. That it's a neat gimmick. I mean, it's the current gimmick when it comes to films these days. Seeing it applied to a slasher movie would be kind of interesting, but I'll watch it. I probably won't wait till Halloween. I'll probably just rent it or something on any given Sunday. Beside that, we have Cliffhanger getting a 4K release. So, Kyle, what did you think of Cliffhanger?
So, Cliffhanger, I watched around the same time as like Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves, Terminator 2, and I remember the opening of this movie really freaked me out, and it was, and I remember it being parodied very well in Ace Ventura 2, When Nature Calls, but I don't remember much else besides that opening shot. I remember Stallone in that denim wool jacket before he goes up to the mountain, and then John Lithgow doing like a very sinister noise, and then that's pretty much it.
He's doing like a mid-Atlantic kind of accent or something, like one of those. It's just supposed to be like rich American accents.
Is
like
he
it's not even regional.
Is he American?
Yeah.
Okay, I always thought that he was British for some reason, because he always has just a weird voice. I don't know.
No, he does put a weird affectation on his voice in that movie. I really like John Lithgow.
I do too.
He's always welcome.
Orange County has been on my list to have Steph watch for a while. He's fucking hilarious in that movie.
Yeah, the big thing about Cliffhanger for me is that it's directed by Rennie Harlin, and Rennie Harlin I think he's Finnish. Like, what put him on the map was Nightmare on Elm Street 4.
Oh.
And I've said it before, like, the best quote that came from him in the Nightmare on Elm Street documentary I have is, I know what teenage boys like. It's like, to me, that's like, any movie of his that you watch, you need to keep that in the back of your mind.
He looks like a Nazi.
he's a big like bearded Viking man that had like Basically, he makes movies for teenage boys, and oftentimes, like, violence in his movies is over the top. His action is always overcomplicated. Like, he can never just have a straight up shootout. He needs to have John McClane do, like, rolls on the ground and, like, have objects fall from the ceiling. And,
I know exactly
white guys swinging on ropes and stuff.
I know exactly what shot from Die Hard 2 you're talking about, because I remember seeing it. I'm like, how the fuck is he hitting anything if he's rolling like that?
It's a bit much. It's always a bit much. That's how he does movies.
He also did one of our favorite bad movies, which is Deep Blue Sea.
Yes, he did. And I think he did... it's funny, whenever I throw this movie out there, people always get confused. I think the movie was actually called Mindhunters. And there's that, Netflix series that's about, like, serial...
It's really
David
good.
Fincher thing or
It's
something?
really good. Mindhunters is a really good show. I'm actually really excited for it to come back if it ever does.
Well, it's a really shitty movie, also.
Well, the guy who's the main guy looks like a young Cary Elwes. Like, his mannerisms too. He reminds me so much of Cary Elwes. But it's a good show. I'm not going to say it's worth you getting Netflix for, but they just dropped another. They dropped a couple cool things. One, they just dropped a new true crime docuseries, which if I haven't said before, I'll say again. Their docuseries are just awesome. Like, they're great. But they're...
Well, I mean, I think my brother's been saying it for a while. That's kind of why you have Netflix, more so than, like, most of the shows.
I mean, they have all...
For him, anyway.
They have all... Like, they put classic movies on there. They have all 3 Godfather movies on there. They've had them on there for a while. But I think that of, like, the media platforms, the streaming services we have, I think Netflix is pretty good. They have better movies. Amazon Prime has way more movies, but they're not as good.
Yeah.
Netflix is able to get some good movies on there.
And then there's Hulu.
Hulu we just use for live TV. I mean, that's fine. I'm going to watch college football here pretty soon.
Okay.
Big college football day.
Gotcha. We'll have to hurry up then.
No, we're fine.
Moving along, we have Crimson Peak. This is not the first time we've seen a re-release of this, but this cover art is fucking metal.
Yeah, it is metal. It reminds me of Mandy a little bit.
Yeah, this is an Arrow distributed version of it.
Interesting.
I've said it before, Crimson Peak is gorgeous to look at, but make sure you check your brain at the door, because it is pretty fucking stupid.
That's Guillermo, isn't it?
Yeah.
Hiddleston, too, correct?
Yes. Yeah, Tom Hiddleston's in there. It's fun. I didn't hate it or anything. It's just remarkably stupid, despite having, like, the classiest of appearances. Underneath the surface, it's pretty fucking stupid.
Are we ever going to get that third Sherlock Holmes movie with Downey Jr.'s and Jude Law?
I don't know if it was ever planned.
Gosh.
I mean, the second one was surprisingly good.
It was really good.
Yeah, usually those sequels, those sequels that come out pretty soon after the first one, usually those are diminishing returns. But, no, I was happy with that second one.
Oh, okay. Let's keep going, because I'm really excited about something coming up here. So, the Plague of the Zombies, I like that front cover, but it does not look like it's very good. I mean, 1966, and I've never heard of it. I mean, generally, if you've heard of movies from like the 50s, 60s, 70s, they're usually worth watching. I've never heard of this, and it doesn't look very good, but I like the cover art.
Yeah, I'll leave it at that. I don't have much else to say about it. It's just a very green cover with to any you Gundam fans out there, of which there's probably like 2 out there listening.
Both y'all, thanks for listening.
this zombie's front and center, or Warlock, or whatever the fuck. His mask looks kind of like Char Aznavour, if you're familiar.
Looks like
this Plague Dogs movie from 1982. The cover makes me think it's animated. I'm not sure, though. But 2 dogs escape the research facility where they've been subjected to cruel experiments and are subsequently hunted by the government because they may carry the plague. This sounds like a movie that would make a young Kyle cry.
Yeah.
Probably good, though. That's an interesting story. There's actually there's a comic writer by the name of Grant Morrison. He's a very peculiar Scottish fella. he wrote a story called We Three. It's about 3 animals in power armor who escaped from a lab. I would not be surprised if this served as some sort of inspiration, especially seeing as John Hurt is in the cast, so I can assume that this is a UK production. And yeah, it's about animals on the run with some sort of plague or some sort of contagion or something.
Can we get
the 80s love continues to march on forward. We have the new trend when it comes to packaging is to do like clamshell VHS cases for movies, complete with shredded denim jeans style wear and tear on the cover, like pre-installed.
There's a couple movies on here. Last Action Hero.
That would be one of the aforementioned VHS case copies, which
I rewatched not too long ago, and I think I'm gonna say holds up because I was having legit laughs in that movie. And it was, as far as like a nostalgia movie, I think this is up there for me. Like, this took me right back to being a kid watching it. I love this movie. It's great. Buy it on Blu-ray.
I really like the Megadeth song that plays throughout. Angry Again. Rubber baby buggy bumpers.
Rubber baby buggy bumpers. Yeah. like his like when he's getting ready to watch the movie and you have like those Arnold previews and stuff like that. Those are even hilarious.
I had a teacher in high school that actually showed the Hamlet clip.
Oh gosh.
To be.
Not
to be. Douche. Not to be.
Not to be.
Yeah, he showed that to introduce the Shakespeare unit.
If you've never seen it, just buy it on Blu-ray. Just buy this. Give them the money.
Yeah,
it's great.
I actually like Last Action Hero. My brother's always been keen on pointing out to me that apparently like the script was like a work of art before it got filmed. So I'm curious what could have been, but what we got
was good. Yeah,
it's still quite good.
It might be for the better. And Charles Dance too. He's able to be like really eerie, like a creepy villain. Because he looks creepy in real life. No offense.
I've just shot a man, and I don't even care.
So good. I'm gonna test a theory. Yeah, he's great in that.
Don't forget Tom Noonan also.
Oh yeah, he's creepy in that.
Yeah, for a young kid, that's fucking terrifying.
I want at some point to do maybe a Manhunter versus Red Dragon. I don't know if you'd be into that one day, or if you've even seen the latter. Have you seen?
Oh no, I've seen both.
I think that they're both good. I would say, but yeah, I just kind of want to compare and contrast the two a little bit. Maybe one day. That's down the road.
I'd be down to do that. I feel like it's gonna end up like Godzilla 1985. That's a weird example, but the reason why I throw it out there is Godzilla 1985 was altered for its U.S. release. But some things were improved. So, like, if you were to take certain elements from the U.S. version and apply them to the Japanese version, I think you'd have an overall better movie. So the best version of it doesn't exist. Only in your mind, if you've seen both.
Yeah, that's a good point. What is this? The Forbidden Photos of Lady Suspiria?
Of a lady above suspicion. That is a Le Foto Proibite de una Signora per Bene.
What's BBFC?
BBFC.
That's rated.
It says 15, so I'd imagine that's like around a PG-13.
Okay.
A repressed young wife's traumatic sexual assault triggers a depraved obsession with her attacker.
That's weird.
So this is very Italian, I'd imagine.
Yeah, it looks like it.
It's another Arrow release, so I'm sure there are boobs.
Most likely. I just watched Red Desert. Surprisingly, no boobs in there.
Oh, amazing. The Howling 3, The Marsupials. I remember reading like a Leonard Maltin review of this back in the day. The Howling series is kind of fucked.
Yeah, I can see that.
I mean, that first one is pretty excellent, and then immediately it just goes straight down the shitter. The Howling 2 is well covered by like YouTube movie reviewers because it's so batshit crazy and silly. Christopher Lee is a werewolf hunter, by the way.
Nice. I could see him. I could see that, like, actor, voice actor, singer, vampire hunter, werewolf hunter. Like, that's his resume. Well, it would have been his resume. He's dead now.
Many boobs in Howling 2. I don't know about Howling 3.
That's how you sell it.
Yeah. Goosebumps 2, that first movie apparently made all the money. So I'm not surprised that there was a sequel.
I did not give it my money. I'm on the fence because I liked a couple of the Goosebumps movies. The Werewolf of Fever Swamp freaked me out as a kid, and it was on like Netflix or Prime not too long ago. I gave it a rewatch. Like, it's not that bad, honestly. Like for Werewolf of Fever Swamp, I'll give the Goosebumps franchise. Like, that was a decent movie that they made. Decent.
I mean, I watched the show when I was a kid.
I did too.
I didn't like it that much because I think I was just old enough that I was like, this is kind of dorky.
Oh, I was at a Halloween party a couple years ago, a house party, and we were playing beer pong in the kitchen, and it was a small gathering. It was, but we were going pretty hard, and the Goosebumps theme song came on, and a couple of us started doing the Running Man to it. 'Cause it's just it was just perfect for it. Kroll. I've heard of Kroll.
As have I. Kroll and Willow are two 80s fantasy movies that I need to see.
You need to see Willow, but good fucking luck doing it.
I need to see Willow. I know.
I might buy the big one. Like, it's got probably a Blu-ray or something like that. But is it one of those that George Lucas doesn't want people to own or something like that? Like, it's super expensive. It's like $50.
I think so.
It
was actually directed by Robert Zemeckis, as far as I remember. But yeah, for some reason, it's like the Howard the Duck situation, where for whatever reason it's locked down. But I really do want to see it someday because it has so many things I like. No, I think it was Ron Howard.
Was it Ron Howard that did that?
It was either Robert Zemeckis or Ron Howard, but some folks that are like a couple years older than me, it was like kind of a really important movie to them.
I watched it a lot as a kid, and I really enjoyed it.
And it's got like dragons and like little people, and I know this for useless trivia. The very first on-screen morph shot.
Oh, I forgot about that.
It's when someone turns into a tiger or something.
It kind of turns into Conan the Barbarian a little bit, if I remember correctly. At the end, that was a weird ending to that movie.
But yeah, Kroll. Apparently, baby Liam Neeson's in there.
Sorry, Conan the Destroyer, not the Barbarian.
Oh yeah. The Conan the Destroyer, where they fight the big rubber monster at the end
with the phallic head. Yes.
Oh yeah. I defend that movie. It is stupid, and it's not nearly as good as the first one, but I still enjoy it. I wonder,
because isn't it Wilt Chamberlain is the other fella in there?
I believe so, yes.
I wonder, because he was known to, I think he was supposed to have sex with over like 1,000 women at one point.
That's his reputation.
I wonder if he hit on anybody on that set. Or if there was a couple of notches on that movie.
I wouldn't be surprised.
So,
although Grace Jones was apparently the most dangerous person on that set.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I listened to the commentary. Yes, I listened to the fucking commentary for Conan the Destroyer.
Wow.
Apparently, she was very dangerous because she did a lot of. She had a staff as her weapon in the movie.
Yeah.
And she was not very safe with it.
Didn't she bop? She bopped somebody on the nose a couple of times, I think.
Yeah, she really whacked some people. So, like, I'm pretty sure, like, Wilt Chamberlain was, like, sizing her up, and he's like, nah, it ain't worth
it. So, moving along, Kindergarten Cop is something that pops out to me, as well as Born on the 4th of July, and I can see one that's definitely going to pop up to you in the next line. Yeah, it's starting to pick up here. Kindergarten Cop. I wouldn't own it on Blu-ray, but I would give it a rewatch.
Fuck this kid. Fuck this kid. Ansel Elgort. Ansel Elgort in something called Jonathan. Fuck that guy.
Scott Pilgrim versus the World. I know you're a big fan of Homegirl from there.
Oh yeah, Mary Elizabeth Winstead. She works.
I had a moment. I was looking at my tea inventory. I have a huge tea inventory now, and I was like, Steph, you want a tea? She's like, yeah. I'm like, okay. What do you want? She's like, I don't know. I'm like, okay. So we have green, chamomile, tension tamer, chai, English breakfast, Scottish breakfast. I'm just like going through all the teas. Like, that's Scott Pilgrim. Aaron Brock.
That was a fun movie. I mean, Edgar Wright is a director I have very low familiarity with, and that was, I think, the first movie of his I saw, and the only movie of his I saw for a very long time.
Isn't that have Chris? Is it Chris Evans?
Yeah,
he's my favorite of the three Chris's.
Chris Evans, the man who did comic book movies.
Yeah,
like Fantastic Four, Scott Pilgrim, The Losers, Captain America. He's done a lot of comic book movies.
I really liked him in Sunshine. I think that's one of his better movies.
My brother said that I should watch that. I put Snowpiercer on the list of potential episodes we could do down the road, by the way.
It's been spoiled for me, that's why I haven't given it a watch. But
damn. The most recent version of Les Mis from 2012. Man, there's a lot of re-releases. We should probably pay more attention to the new releases. Land Before Time.
Never seen it.
The original movie from 1988. You haven't seen it?
Never seen it.
Oh, wow. That was a huge movie.
Yeah.
For me and for most kids, actually. Dinosaurs, man. Kids love dinosaurs. And that movie is excellent. The soundtrack alone. This is a Don Bluth film. Actually have a couple of Don Bluth movies on the list of future episodes. Mormon animator, man. Made some great-ass movies and then fell very sharply. Safe House, I think... I don't think I put it on the list of potential episodes, but this is actually a pretty good movie, by the way.
Really? Yeah.
It has your boy Brendan Gleeson.
I do like Brendan Gleeson,
and Ryan Reynolds is good in it. In fact, I'm just gonna open this up. What's his face? Oh shit, they didn't list. Oh yeah, Ruben Blades is in there, but they didn't. Joel Kinnaman. Joel Kinnaman is in there for like 2 scenes. And holy shit, I hope he got paid, because some of the stunts he did in this movie, oh shit, there's no way to do them without taking some bumps. Cowboys and Aliens, I wrote a big fat article about how much I despised this movie, and Grantland.
Did you get
that? Did you get Grantland actually cited me.
I was gonna say, did you get a thumbs up from Harrison Ford? Like, I didn't like it either.
I didn't like it either. It was too dry out there. I couldn't get my acting chops together.
Yeah, just aside from, it's not what I've been proud of in my career.
I don't get that Jon Favreau guy. Sometimes he's fat, and other times he's not.
Yeah.
Make up your mind, son.
I haven't seen it.
It's
obviously
not worth your time. It is not worth your time.
Here's a nostalgia one for us. The Little Rascals. I'd seen the hell out of that when I was a kid.
I skipped that.
It's fine. You don't need to watch it.
It was like targeted right at me, but for some reason I skipped it.
You don't need to watch it. The Thing. Buy it. Oh, that's the 2011. Don't buy it.
We don't care about that. Moving on down. Smokey and the Bandit 40th Anniversary Edition.
Never seen it.
Neither have I.
Tower Heist.
Burt Reynolds died recently, so it's worth pointing out.
Yeah, Tower Heist. That movie sucks. Do not watch it. Speed Kills. Okay.
I'm intrigued.
Yeah, I'll bite. What you got?
Speed Kills.
That is a
starring John Travolta. Why does he look so constipated?
He looks weird.
Yeah, like I don't remember. Does he actually have blue eyes?
I don't know.
He looked. Lately, he's been doing a lot of these movies where he wears a lot of makeup and funny wigs.
I think he's been bald for a long time.
Speedboat racing champion and multimillionaire Ben Aronoff leads a double life that lands him in trouble with the law and drug lords.
That could be fun.
James Remar, I like him. Jennifer Esposito, I love her.
Travolta might be edging into his Seagal Seagal era, basically, where he's just going to be doing these stupid, vague action movies. And they might be like bad. They might be like bad fun. Like they might be enjoyable like that.
Well, as much as people shit on him, I actually do find him entertaining.
Yeah.
Like, even when he's not good, he just has a way about him that you can tell he's trying something.
Yeah.
And I always appreciate that. Like, maybe it's a knock on my appreciation for acting, but I always appreciate when people take chances and try to make something of a performance rather than just be flat.
Yeah.
Matt Modine would be a good example of being flat. Kellen Lutz, holy shit. He tried to be something, didn't work out.
Breakfast Club Blu-ray. I don't like that movie. I know it's supposed to.
I haven't seen it.
I mean, you should probably watch it because you're like the only person who's never seen it.
30th anniversary, damn.
I mean, it's considered a good movie. I think it has a Criterion release, honestly. It doesn't hold up.
I think it's like the most famous like John Hughes Brat Pack movie.
Yeah. It is 100%.
Moving on down, we have a whole bunch of re-releases.
Yeah.
Stuff that's been out for ages. 12 Round Gun. This is a movie that I am probably going to buy.
I could see that.
I've had my eye on this for a while. It's been loosely publicized, but the big selling point of it for me... Oh, by the way, this guy from Batman Begins. The big selling point of it for me is that... it's a boxing movie, so obviously I'm interested. But the guy who I think he stars in and directs it is like one of the lead stunt coordinators from the Marvel movies.
Oh.
The Sam Upton fella.
Interesting.
Yeah, and I think it might be his debut as a director. And lately, we've been seeing this a lot lately, where non-directors, like either writers or stunt coordinators or second unit guys, are getting a chance to make feature films. And surprisingly, a lot of them end up being very good. And I mean, fuck, it's a boxing movie by one of the foremost stunt coordinators in Hollywood right now. Of course I'm interested.
Yeah.
Speaking of The Purge, Purge Anarchy, I think this is, number 4 or 5? I don't even fucking know, but...
Are they like the Saw movies at this point? Like they're just going off the rails?
I think it is like an annual thing, like the Saw movies were. But yeah, I think I am going to watch those.
47 Ronin... I like that movie.
You told me I should watch this.
Did you watch it?
No.
I liked it. I enjoyed it. I'm not saying it's a good movie. I'm just saying I enjoyed it. That's all.
Oh, well, maybe I'll watch it.
Okay.
Should we do an episode on it?
Maybe. I'd have to give it a rewatch first before.
Okay, well, I'll throw it on the list for now.
Okay.
Holy shit, Misha Barton's still working.
Oh my gosh.
I was not aware of that.
I thought she was dead.
Something called The Basement from this year.
I honestly thought she died.
I thought she, just carried on.
Okay.
What the fuck else you gotta do? Okay, some more PBS releases.
This looks like our last release day. Maybe.
Yeah, so now we're at January 22nd, and the first big release of that day is First Man.
Haven't seen it. Haven't heard anything about it.
I've heard it's excellent. It's up for Oscars. It's about it's not about Lance Armstrong. It's about Neil Armstrong, the astronaut who first touched down on the moon, starring Ryan Gosling and directed by Damien Chazelle, who is the fellow that did La La Land. So they worked together before. It's supposed to be very, very, very good. And I probably won't bother with it.
I won't watch it. Yeah, right.
Arrow release of Waterworld. I don't know if this is the movie's first time on Blu-ray, but I'm gonna have to do my research on the special features for this.
Yeah, that's the only reason why I would have it.
Yeah, me too. Because the production history of Waterworld
is notorious.
Vastly more fascinating than the movie.
Ooh,
I'm gonna keep my eye on that.
Mikey and Nikki. I've actually heard Peter Falk and John Cassavetes. I kind of want to watch this. I've heard about this movie from 1976. I actually just watched The Odd Couple, with Walter Matthau and Jack Lemmon, the movie from like 1968 or something. Mm-hmm. It's okay. The movie's okay, but fucking Walter Matthau's hilarious.
Yeah, he seems like kind of your guy.
He's great. I mean, I love him in Bad News Bears, but yeah.
A film by Elaine May. So I had a friend. Well, I still have a friend. They suggested I give some of John Cassavetes' movies a look, like movies that he directed.
Mm-hmm.
Usually he has like his wife star in them. I forget her name. But he was notorious for making these like family drama kind of movies that would usually be like 3 hours long and mostly be improvised as far as I could tell. But yeah, looking at this, 106 minutes, not quite the 3 hours, but it's creeping up there.
Is John Cassavetes the father of Nick Cassavetes?
Yes, he is.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, he's very, very, very well respected in Hollywood.
Yeah.
I mean, he's traditionally regarded as an indie director. I know the Canon folks paid him a lot of money to just make whatever the fuck, just because of the name recognition. Mm-hmm. And I guess he just gave them whatever the fuck, because he's not that kind of guy. Like, he's one of those guys that you throw a bunch of money at him and he just rolls his eyes at you.
He I guess he had a role in Hangover 2. He's the guy tattooing the young kid.
What the fuck?
Yeah, it's so funny. Like, he is his little scene's funny in there. I didn't realize that was him though. Huh. Wow. Cobra, El Dorado. I've seen The Road to El Dorado.
Let me hop back to Cobra for a second. This is a collector's edition. It says so right on the cover for the 1986 Stallone movie Cobra. I did some research. I'm very sad to report that this does not include the extended version of the film. This was made in 1986, so Stallone was at the height of his powers, and the man had an ego. His wife is in the movie, by the way, in a prominent role. And our local hero, Brian Thompson.
Oh, nice.
And it is glorious.
My gosh.
Our local hero, Brian Thompson. But yeah, this movie was cut to ribbons in editing.
By him?
And yeah. and as far as I know, there does not exist a preserved copy of the uncut film.
Mm.
And from what I can tell, it was way better. Like, it was way more violent and just way more intense. And it actually made fucking sense, because this movie is nonsensical. It's very frustrating. And there are many films in this era of Stallone's career that this happened to. Like, I actually have one on my shelf called Nighthawks. I mean, it's fucking Stallone and Billy D. Williams versus Rutger Hauer.
Oh,
like, that should be amazing.
Yeah.
And no, it got cut to shit in editing, and Rutger Hauer's role was supposed to... The premise was that he was supposed to have equal screen time with Stallone, and the end product is not exactly that.
Just he's too much of him in there. You need to put me in there a bit more.
That's exactly what happened.
Ugh.
And apparently the same thing kind of happened with Cobra. And what we have, collector's edition or not, is not the best version of the film that exists. So, like I said about Godzilla 1985. The best version of the movie only exists in your imagination.
Who the fuck are you to keep Rutger Hauer out of your movie? Jesus.
Fuck! Seriously, man. Like, Rutger Hauer's a treasure.
Right?
Like, he lights up the screen.
Dirty Rotten Scoundrels, I tried to watch a couple months ago. Couldn't get through it.
I haven't seen it, but I mean, just looking at the components, like Steve Martin and Michael Caine.
Yeah.
I'd be down to give it a shot.
Yeah, give it a try. See if you can get through it.
Double Dragon.
Yeah.
Double Dragon, the 1994. I think this was a New Line production. So the folks that gave us Ninja Turtles, the live action movies, that is getting a Blu-ray release from MVD, who is they're quickly developing a reputation similar to the Arrow distribution company.
Oh.
They just put out shit. And yeah, this movie is shit.
I haven't seen it.
Although, Mark Dacascos, I do like him. but he can't act. Like he's there to be a martial artist, and guess what? There are no martial arts in the movie.
Oh.
By the way, have you seen what Robert Patrick looks like in this movie?
Doesn't he have a goatee and spiky hair?
He has Vanilla Ice hair.
Oh.
But with like bleach blonde highlights on black.
Yeah, that sounds awful.
Yeah, it's 1994 bottled. Moving on down.
Nothing else is really popping out to me here.
The Hate You Give. That must be a brand new release. Looks like it got some critical acclaim. Unfortunately, I know nothing about it.
Oh, Best Friends. I know who's in that.
Oh, no!
Yeah.
Tommy Wiseau and Greg Sestero.
Yeah.
Volume 1 and Volume 2.
Jesus.
So they're still riding that wave.
Whatever that is.
Yeah, whatever the fuck that is.
Or whatever the fuck.
Roadhouse 2?
That
happened?
Yeah.
Jake Busey, no! Jake Busey's in Roadhouse 2 from 2006. I know they were trying to remake Roadhouse with Ronda Rousey.
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
Before she lost. And
yeah.
It's like before all the money dried up and she had to become a wrestler. But apparently she's doing well as a wrestler.
That's good. I think Dana White had dollar signs in his eyes. It's like, she's going to do everything.
Yeah. I mean, she did a couple movies.
Man.
She's still doing movies, actually. That Mile 22 movie was not that long ago.
I was actually more excited because she was kind of annoying me. And then her unsportsmanlike conduct at weigh-ins against Holly Holm. I'm like, oh, I hope Holly Holm fucks her up. And that's exactly what happened.
Yeah, you got your wish.
That was it was a really good fight, like, on Holm's side.
I was about to say, Kyle, are you sure about that?
No, what I loved about that fight was after she beat her, Holly Holm just gives like this, like, you can just tell, like, she was really prepared for that fight, and like the hype around Ronda Rousey was so big that even when she beat her, she was like, "Oh my god, I fucking did it!" Like it was really really great to see.
And then I don't know if you saw Amanda.
Oh yeah, that wasn't even a fight. That was
that's. I mean, call the cops, man.
Yeah, that was bad. That was bad. That was almost as bad as when McGregor knocked out Jose.
Jose.
Yeah, that was like, oh my gosh, that was so like it was so.
But
quick.
that was one shot.
I know, but it was just it was just over before it began. I'm like, that was it? Are you kidding me? He got so into his head that he just stumbled.
I know you're not very well versed in The Simpsons and stuff, but there's a quote from that show where it's a little kid screaming, "Stop! Stop! He's already dead!" That was Nunez and Rousey.
Yeah.
Moving on, this She-Borg movie from 2016 is definitely riding the nostalgia wave. Interesting cover art.
It almost looks like it could be a sequel to Turbo Kid.
Yeah, man, I have to post that episode, by the way. Heads up, folks out there, we do have a Turbo Kid episode.
Yeah.
But yeah, looks like, it's in the same vein as Turbo Kid.
Nothing else is really popping out to me on here.
No, nothing else. City of Vampires, that's a kind of badass cover.
It is, but it does not look like it's a good movie.
1993 though.
It looks like 19.
See, if this was made in 2018, I'd have lower expectations. But from 1993, it's like
it looks like it's from 1979.
Yeah, for sure. Don't know anything about it, but maybe I'll keep my eye on that.
Okay.
Quiet Riot has a concert disc coming out.
I'm fine.
January 28th, Wings Hauser in Deadly Force. I think I saw a review of this on the Red Letter Media channel. I could be wrong about that, but the font is... I think it's actually the Delta Force font.
Look at the next line.
So we're now at January 29th, and holy shit, a lot of relevant things are on here.
Yeah.
You want to start us off, Kyle?
Yeah, so Suspiria 2018, I'm fine. Watch the original. I haven't seen this. I've heard it's probably pretty good, but watch the original.
You gotta watch the new one just to compare it.
Yeah, maybe.
Just to compare
I don't want to give it my money.
Oh, well, give it like Redbox money.
In the heat of the night, this looks like a drama, like a courtroom, like it could be a courtroom drama.
I think it's a cop drama.
Drama.
Sidney Poitier.
Oh,
welcome.
Guess who's coming to dinner?
They call him Mr. Tibbs.
Screamer. What's Screamers?
I told you about this, actually. This is a movie that I put on the list a long time ago. I'm going to make you watch this because I really like Screamers. This was a sci-fi movie I watched a lot when I was young. It's very low budget, but it's Peter Weller, and I'm just going to leave it at that. It's a low-budget sci-fi movie, post-apocalyptic. It's got RoboCop in it.
Willow has got a Blu-ray release. Now, how much is this one going to be? Because if it's not $1,000, you should probably just buy it.
So Willow, getting a Blu-ray release, multi-screen edition. What the fuck does that
I don't
mean?
even know what that means.
Currently, pre-order price is $19.99.
Perfect.
And it was Ron Howard. So
okay. Writer George Lucas. That's why.
Yeah. Yeah. Maybe. So right now, I see two movies that I might end up picking up.
Yep.
Screamers and Willow.
I might get Willow as well.
Moving on down. Oh, Reign of the Supermen. So they're finally pulling the trigger on that. It's funny. Like a decade ago, I think the first DC direct-to-DVD. Well, no, not the first, but one of the higher-profile direct-to-video animated movies that the DC movies made was Death of Superman. Mm-hmm. And they completely fucked it up. Yeah. So I guess like just last year they redid it. So 10 years they did a Spider-Man.
Oh.
It's been 10 years. Let's redo it.
Yeah.
And now I guess they're making a follow-up to that, and they're doing it true to the comics, which they did not bother to do the first time. All the Colors of Giallo. I'm guessing this is a documentary cashing in on the Suspiria re-release.
Probably.
Yeah, that's my guess.
But wait, Suspiria was Dario Argento.
I meant the remake, not the re-release.
Oh, okay.
You might want to look into this documentary.
Yeah.
Because Giallo films, I think, are right up your alley. I think it's a genre you should probably explore more of.
Okay.
Splatter University. The Uninvited. This is definitely something that the Red Letter Media guys just covered like 2 weeks ago.
Wow.
That's interesting, the timing of that. There's Nothing Out There is a movie that I read a review for on that badmovies.org website from ages ago. Sounded like a lot of fun. It's from 1991, but it was like ahead of its time in the sense that it was doing the Scream thing where there's at least one character who's self-aware of the fact that he's like in a monster movie.
Ooh, I like all these movies that I'm looking at right now look. Ooh, yeah, these all look really good. I could watch any of these.
You're looking at Giallo movies?
Yeah.
Yeah. I told you, man. It's. I think it's your genre.
I should have just taken more film classes when I was in college. Jeez.
Or you should just listen to me.
Is that what is that? Sarah T. Portrait of a Teenage Alcoholic? Is that Linda Blair?
That's what it looks like.
Jeez.
Linda Blair is Sarah T. Portrait of a Teenage Alcoholic.
She, I believe, posed for Playboy and also dated Rick James.
Damn.
Yeah. Interesting gal, yeah, right?
So I'm guessing this is just like a Reefer Madness type movie.
Probably, yeah.
From 1975. Hunter Killer, the trailers for this looked like some of the hottest garbage I've ever seen.
Oh,
Gerard Butler has... his agent and him must just like be rolling on the floor laughing every time like a movie comes across their desk, because it's just like he specializes in crap now.
It's the worst movies.
Yeah, he makes the worst films, but like
Like
I don't know. Like he just keeps doing it.
He makes movies you can tell from the cover are terrible.
Yeah. But
That's
he
all
keeps
he's
doing
in.
it. Like
That's
he's
in.
still busy though. Like he's consistently working.
Yeah, I mean if he's making money, fuck it, YOLO.
Yeah. Boy Erased is supposed to be pretty good. It's about one of those conversion camps.
Ooh, that sounds good. I would like to watch that. Because I know all that jazz. Oof. Okay, let's go down there. So this is a movie I watched for some reason when I was a kid. It was just on, and I think because it had boobs in it, and it was. It's a weird. It's like half musical, half his. If you read the plot, it'll kind of describe.
So All That Jazz, 1979, starring Roy Scheider, one of my favorite actors from when I was a kid, because I was obsessed with Jaws. When not planning for his upcoming stage musical or working on his Hollywood film, choreographer/director Joe Gideon is popping pills and sleeping with a seemingly endless line of women. The physical and mental stress begins to take a toll on the ragged perfectionist. Soon, he must decide whether his non-stop work schedule and hedonistic lifestyle are worth risking his life.
I'm gonna have to give it a rewatch, but I remember watching this as a kid. It's kind of musical-ish. Like I say,
Jessica
dramas.
Lange.
Yep.
1979, Jessica Lange.
Mm-hmm.
That was like a year or two after the King Kong movie?
Oh, I'm not sure. My Jessica Lange is Cape Fear, and then everything after that.
Oh, okay. I think King Kong was her first movie. The remake, that is. Cutting Class. That looks like Brad Pitt. That is Brad Pitt.
I would watch the Studio 54 documentary. I wouldn't buy it. I would just watch it.
Yeah, I'd be curious to see that too. Was that movie any good, by the way?
I didn't watch it.
The Mike Myers one.
Oh,
was that Ryan Phillippe or Justin Timberlake in there?
I have no idea. I'm not sure.
It was just called 54, and I guess Mike Myers plays the owner.
Oh, no, I haven't seen that. I think that's pretty. I'm not seeing too much else on here.
Yeah, I think that's it for the January Blu-ray releases.
Yeah.
Yeah, decent stuff, like decent pile of stuff coming out.
Yeah, not bad.
Only a couple that I think I'll actually pick up.
Willow for sure.
Willow, yeah, I don't think I have too much to worry about when it comes to buying that blind. Waterworld, I definitely need to look into the special features of it, because if there is a good documentary attached to it, fuck yes, I'll buy that.
Okay.
Definitely. Because reading about that movie has been so fascinating over the years. There's just so many weird stories about how that thing came together, or didn't, rather. Anyway, thanks so much for joining us as we caught up on the January 2019 Blu-ray releases.
Correct.
Until next time.